GearBest have kindly sent me the FAYEE FY603. It's actually got loads of names around it. It uses the word smart an awful lot, and that's actually on the quad itself as well. It's called a fly egg as well. Just want to show you around the box really. It's really well packaged, and it looks like it's got like a complete roll cage. So I think GearBest have finally got me sussed on my flying abilities, so they're actually protecting the quad and the environment I'm flying in, so that's rather good. It comes in black or white, and looks a smart little quad, very different to anything else I've got, I must admit. It's got altitude hold, return to home as well, so we'll just see how all these functions work as I go through the review. And then apparently the camera is up to professional level, which I'd be absolutely amazed at judging by the size of it. And there we go, that's everything out of the box, and certainly smart by name and smart by nature, I think. Really nice looking little quad there. And the actual sort of roll cage thing does come off, so you can actually unclip that and just pull it right off. I'm actually going to fly with it on, which is unusual for me, because usually I don't bother putting prop guards on and everything. I just think this design looks really cool, and if it lands in certain positions it will drop back that way. If you're too far over it will just wind up on its back, sort of thing. So it's and so I think it's quite a good design. So coming into land, I don't think you're going to gouge up your props or anything, or gouge up anything that your props are going into. So I like the look of that. While we're on the quad itself, the battery, I'll just get that out in a second, but there should be enough power just to power up, see what the LEDs are like. So we've got flashing blue at the front and flashing red at the back, as you can clearly see, and you can sort of see them from a bit of an angle. They're not at the end of the arms, as you can clearly see, and then there is holes at the top, sort of vent holes, and you can just about see them from above, so they look quite cool. Let's just get the battery out and see what that looks like. There we go, you just have to push down here just to get it to release in there, and then it is a proprietary battery. Oops. And it comes out, there we go. It comes out through a slot there, so it sort of rocks in down through these slots with those. So that, yeah, it's certainly definitely well in there. It's not going to come out. Well, it is sort of a proprietary battery. It's definitely a battery holder. Just undo these 4 screws if you needed to replace the battery. But and that looks quite a normal sort of connector there. And talking about the connector, you get a USB adapter to charge the actual battery. I'll see how long that takes once I've had a couple of goes with it, and put that in at the end of the review in the summary area. So, and it does definitely clicks it nicely in, so it's not going to fall out or anything, which is rather good. You get a Phillips screwdriver as per normal, and then the only other thing that you need to assemble is actually on the transmitter itself. Is just if you're going to use the FPV, just need to pop that off and then just pop that into there. I'll just slide that down, and then you just put your phone onto here. You've got a little bit of an angle with it, but to be honest, I've always found you can just tilt these wherever you like. It doesn't really matter that much. The transmitter itself is very much like a miniature gaming one. It does actually feel quite comfortable in the hand. It's sort of the way it's moulded and everything around. It does actually feel quite good. And you've got rocker switches at the top here, so these definitely do 2 different things. It's not just one big button. These don't actually press down, so obviously you haven't got anything to do there. Even the actual little controller here is the XYAB, and nothing's marked up for what it actually does, so I'll have to go through, when I go through the manual, we'll have a look at that. And it's got altitude hold, so both sticks are centered, so that's rather good. You do actually need a couple of AA batteries for this as well, so, and it doesn't come with them, so make sure you've got those. So you've got the battery on charge. I'm going to have a quick look through the instruction manual, and this one's really good. I am very impressed with this. Nice and simple, run through all the warnings and everything, important safety stuff and everything. It tells you what you get in your box, which should have come with your quad, charging, and then run through the actual transmitter. All nicely done. The translations from Chinese to English are done really well. It explains the basics of controls and everything, and it just does it really well actually. I'm very impressed with this, and just highlights certain things like resetting it, so basically sort of calibrating it if you need to, emergency shutdown so you can just drop it out the sky if you need to, and really well done. And the nice thing I like about this, they've stuck all the English in one area and all the Chinese in another, so you're not fighting sort of 2 different languages, so very nicely done. So that's for the actual quad itself, and then there's a little leaflet that comes with it as well that's just about using the app, and it gives you the QR codes down the bottom here to the app, and basically it's Wi-Fi UFO, and I've actually done a complete video on how to use Wi-Fi UFO, so I'll put a link down in the description for you. But this actually comes with nice colour photographs of actual screenshots of it, and then runs through an explanation of what everything does. So if you're not bothered to watch the video, then actually everything's included here. Okay, so flick that on, you get the flashing LEDs. I'm going to bind it to the actual transmitter, and you can still see the flashing LEDs. There we go. And it's up and down on the throttle, and then they stop flashing, which means you're bound. Quick run through the controls. You've got your rate change here, you've got your flip button here. If you've not got the Wi-Fi one, and you can control the camera, video and stills from here. You've got headless mode here, you've got auto start the engines to stop them here, and then you've got the auto takeoff, auto landing. If you get into a panic situation, if you pull the throttle down and then press X, it just kills the motors in the air, it will just drop. These are your trim buttons for this one, and that's about everything run through, I think. It's yeah, it's not complicated, but I wish I had marked it out. Would have been nice, but never mind. Okay, so on your Wi-Fi settings, go into them. Oh, it's already picked it up anyway, I could see that. There we go, it's already connected because I've already connected to it first before. If this is your first time, you just have to find this one. It will come up with a local Wi-Fi, obviously, and then you connect to it. Once you've connected to it, it will remember the settings. So I've already played around with this inside, but not managed to get a flight yet, so we'll see how we get on now. So hopefully if I press play, we should get a screen up. Hey, we're away, look at that, so that's good. Now you can fly it on the app, and I've got a whole video on how to use the app and everything, but I'm not going to. I'm going to use a transmitter. I much prefer a transmitter. Okay, so I'm going to start the video recording. There we go, so and that should start to count up in a second. There we go, so we should all be live, so that's good. And the camera's never great on these, and but we'll see how we get on. So okay, so to calibrate this one, I think it's down and out. There we go, and you get a beep beep. Basically you pull both the sticks down and out, and then it will calibrate it, make sure it's on somewhere flat if you need to. So there we go, so that's the motor starting, and like I say, if you want to auto take off, you just press the one on the right and off you go. Now that's in low, it all starts in low rates. Well, that's actually holding really well, isn't it? There is a breeze in the garden, so there's no point in me trying to trim this up. I don't think it needs any trimming, actually. So that is nice. So that's in low rates. Let's give it a flip first of all. Whee! Always tends to, on the attitude hold, sort of can make them... Oh, I would usually usually can make them muck around and sort of drift around a bit, but this one's not too bad. Yeah. If you like flipping, it does it pretty well. It's quite fast at it. So that's low rates. So that's the yaw in low rates. And that's high rates. Ooh, that didn't make a lot of difference, did it? Oh, it did make a little bit of difference. So that's back in low rates again. It's ever such a dark, miserable, cold day today. And flying with a black quad in the garden is not the easiest to see, but on the camera I'm sure. But it's up in high rates, so let's just see how we get on. So it's not an aggressive fly, it's only got the 2 rates, so I do like that cage on it. I think it looks, I just think it's sort of quite handy. Yeah, it's sort of you could put it up on your ceiling, couldn't you, indoors or anywhere else? It's just gonna let's see, just bring it in here. Bonk. So I don't think obviously the props can hit here, but apart from that, you're not gonna. There we go. It certainly handled it well, and I think it would sort of roll over. It wouldn't damage anything, I would hope. Anyway, quick range test. So that's about 30 meters if I can get it over there. It's quite difficult to actually see. And oh, I'm sure you can't see that on the video. That's best part of 30 meters there. And you can see the breeze is just picking up a bit. And the whole Wi-Fi is still working as well, so that's good. That's pretty good actually. I'm going to wander down here and I know I can get 50 meters on it.
And while we're doing that, I'll just pop it into headless mode. Yeah, it's definitely working in headless. Not something that I really like, to be honest. I won't be, but it's there if you want it. I don't recommend you use it, but it's there. And certainly the altitude holds are working fine. The video is not great. I mean, I wouldn't expect much from this, to be perfectly honest, but I'll take a still, but it'll be exactly the same as the video as well. I'll just stop that. There we go. Whoops! Definitely that breeze is sort of catching it, isn't it? There we go. There we go. So that took a still. There we go. And again. That's fine. Put the video back on again. I just wanted to see whether this will do 50 meters on the control. Whoa, yeah, it does. That's pretty good actually, and the FPV is still working, so that's brilliant. Well, the FPV is just about usable. It's not great, but I mean, you wouldn't expect it to be perfectly honest. Oh, it's dropped out now. There we go, coming back in now. The LEDs are not good, I must admit. I'm not particularly impressed with those. You can hardly see them at all. And we've got flashing LEDs now as well, so let's just quickly try the auto land. So I'll press that and it'll just come down and land. There we go. And you can still control where it's going for the auto land as well. I'm going to just stop the video. And then let's just start the motors, and then you can take off by yourself. You don't have to use the auto takeoff and auto landing, so that's quite good. Yeah, so nice little quad. LEDs could be better, but seems to be working okay. I'll just go run the battery out to see how long we actually get with it. And that's kick out. Mind you, the battery is low, so. But yeah, it's certainly not an aggressive quad. Mind you, the weight of the actual cage, I suppose if you take the cage off, you're going to save a little bit of weight. That probably would help it. You get a longer flight time as well. And there we go, we're absolutely dead now. Hey, there we go. Pretty good.
So what did I think of it, this smart looking quad? And it is actually smart looking. I never bothered taking the prop guards off because I really don't. I just think they look quite cool on it. My only slight negative on the whole thing is basically the LEDs are pretty useless. Once you're outside you can hardly see them at all because of where they've put them behind this black here with the little cut throughs. Just doesn't show enough light, to be honest. They need to be right out on the arms, I think, to see them outside. Indoor flying, just about get away with it, but it's they're not great by any means, so I can't dress them up any other way, and my reviews tend to be honest and how I view them. That's the idea of doing them. The app worked really well, but it's a generic app anyway, so and I've done loads of things with that app and it works really well. And the range on the transmitter I was impressed with. I got over 50 meters on it and never actually got a dropout, so that was rather good. The app for the Wi-Fi won't work to that distance. You would definitely get dropout there, and with not having good LEDs I wouldn't fly this any further than that away, because you honestly won't know what direction it's going in. So and it's not really that sort of thing. It's not designed to be flown a long way away, I don't think. So if you're after long range things, this wouldn't be the quad you'd be going for, I'm sure. If you wanted to, you could just fly it on the app. Just take this off, then you've just got a little small quad you could pop in your pocket and take around with you. And on the app you can either fly it on the gyro or you can use the sticks as well. So, but I would much rather use a transmitter and just use the FPV myself, but that's just the way I work. I suppose another slight negative is the actual battery setup. But it's getting so common these days to have sort of a generic battery for things. It's you just buy an extra one if it's going to be short on how much flight time you get, and it takes about an hour to charge as well, so that wasn't too bad. So yeah, all in all, nice little package. And you know, if you're stepping into quads, you want to have a go with a little bit of FPV, this could well be a good one to start with.